All right, let's get to it. Um, so I thought it would be really, really cute to have a little lore comic, because like I've seen a lot of other people debut and they've been able to organize their lore in a really cute little comic, and that's what I was gonna do. Except I didn't because I ran out of money. Um, because debuting as a VTuber is kind of really expensive, and and I kind of ran out of money and didn't have a lore comic like I wanted to. And so I did the very next best thing that I could do, and I created my own. um, and so I will say, though, that I am not an artist. I don't really have any artistic bones in my being. So instead of this being like a really fluid and beautiful comic, it is what I like to call a, a clip art comic. So, Astral Librarian pay limitations, exactly. You know that our public libraries are severely underfunded, and this is the result. This is the result at work. So I'm going to hide myself so we can fully immerse in the beauty and truth that is my lore comic. I hope you're ready. Because now I will tell you my story, and we will start where all good stories begin, at the very beginning. Now, see, I am a god, but not in the way that you probably think. I am not all knowing, I am not all seeing, I am not all powerful. I am simply a creature of starlight, born from the same flames as the rest of the universe. My brothers and sisters and I make up a pantheon of gods that you've never heard of. But I will say, we are much more civilized than those other pantheons you're probably familiar with. Though, we are simply observers, watchers of the passage of time. We have been here from the beginning, and we will be here at the ending. And for the longest time, we were simply content to drift through the universe, letting the cosmic winds blow us where they would, watching stars be born and then snuff out like candles. And now this went on until we found the most curious little planet. It was so unlike any that we had seen before. In its turbulent primordial days, we saw the stirrings of life and all the promise that life held. We were captivated by the beauty of this little thing. And so we watched as age after age passed and this little planet changed before us. From the lumbering giants of old to the clever little humans who shaped this world in their image. And sometime near the beginning, I realized that I loved this planet far more than any of my siblings, and that I wanted to preserve its story and the stories of those who lived on it. So, I started writing and recording everything that I saw down below. Soon, though, I needed somewhere to store all this writing. My novels piled up quickly, and for as big as space is, I really needed somewhere to organize everything. And fearing that one day the inhabitants of this little planet would turn their gaze to the heavens, I built my library in the shadow of the moon, close enough to see, but far enough to be hidden. And with each age that passed by, I added a new wing to my library, filling it with the stories of the world down below. And humans, oh my gosh, humans were so endlessly fascinating. Not only was their world a story, but each one of their lives was a story worth telling. So much emotion, their feelings were so vibrant, their lives so short yet so colorful. And And within the story of their lives, they started making other stories. They told tales of myths and legends. They wrote books of fantasy and intrigue. They made plays full of drama. It was really all such a delight to see. And I recorded it all, stored away on the shelves in my library. But at some point, I realized that I had spent a millennium writing the stories of others, and that somewhere along the way, lost my own story. Or maybe I realized that I never really had one to begin with. I I wanted to be a character in a story, not just an observer from afar. And so, I hired on some astral helpers, and I named them my little bookkeepers. I wove some spells to record the stories in my absence, and I left. I took on human form and I descended down to earth to write my own story. And I did. I lived so many lives and I experienced so many things. I saw the beauty of this world as well as the darkness of humanity. I was royalty and a thief. I was a poet and a soldier. I was a doctor, a scientist, an actor, a painter, you name it. I wanted to live each of the roles that I had written about before. But it still left me wanting. I was only acting as these roles after all. I was playing out the stories I had seen before. It still wasn't my story. And so I went back to my library to check on my bookkeepers and the stories collected in my absence. And I pondered what it is that I really wanted. And while I was sitting there thinking, a new phenomenon began on the earth below. People started streaming video games, which by the way, I will say, video games have become one of my favorite storytelling devices. More than books, more than plays. No matter the game or the plot, each person that plays a game makes the story unique to them with the way they play it and the emotions inspired within them. And when people stream these experiences, they share these unique tales with others. It was so beautiful. And soon, I saw many non-humans joining this fun in the guise of VTubers. There were kitsunes, there were ghosts, time travelers, witches, heroes, villains. There were ships and planes and even other celestial beings. And I thought, this was it. This is what I was wanting. I could be me. I could live a story unique to me, and I could be me here with you. And so here I am, and I'm hoping that we can write a beautiful story together. The end. Or I guess really it's more the beginning.